So let's have these exercises in your review on the fundamental operations on the real numbers. So this is actually on the module, and what I'm going to do here is to show you the solution, though it has the key answer there. So let's try to answer this one by one. If you haven't answered it, now is the time. You may pause the video and try to answer them one by one. Go. Okay, so you can, I think you played now because you have the answers there on your hand. So let's try to check it. So for number one, find the sum. So this is um, our letter A. We'll be finding the sum. Okay, for 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 number one. So for one, we have 9 plus 13. Again, we're going to do it from left to right. 9 plus 13, 9 plus minus 13. Okay, so what we have here is we have a big number minus a small number. Copy the sign of the bigger number. This is minus 4. Okay, so in our heads we have minus 4 or negative 4 if you want. Okay, negative 4 plus 14 is going to give us positive 10. Okay, positive 10 plus negative 25. So the answer here will be negative 15. Okay, so for number two, we have 57 plus 33. We can see that this 7 becomes a 10, this 5 and 8 becomes an 80 with a 10, so we have 90 for this part, 90. Take note of that, 90. 90 minus 40 is going to give us 50. We're done here. 50 plus 27 is 77. Okay, and then 77 minus 18, since we have a negative sign, a different sign. So 77 minus 18 is gonna give us one number. So we have here, this is gonna have a carry. So we have 6, and we have bar 1. So we have 59. Um, By the way, why am you what is this bar, sir? You haven't told us that this is Vedic mathematics. Maybe I could do a separate videos for Vedic maths. This makes computations, arithmetic, specifically, be more fast. Okay, so maybe I'm going to apply that later in the future videos. So for number three, we have negative 24.2 plus 36.4. So let's have it. So the bigger number is 36. So we have 0.2, we have 2, and we have 1. So 1 or 12.2. So we have, let's write it down. 12.2, that's positive. 12.2. And we're going to have the negative 25.8. Sorry. Okay, so big number minus a small number, that's quite opposite of my writing. So we have here 6, we have here 3, and we have here 1. Copy the sign of the bigger number, bigger absolute value number. Okay, so if you saw my previous video, what I use is big number, small number. You may check the video yourself so that you can see why I call it bigger and small number. Okay, negative 13. Oops, sorry. 0.6. Okay, so we have negative 69.7 plus negative 59. That's clearly adding because they have the same signs. So we have this is gonna be zero point 0.7 surely. So what we have in this sum is 0.7. 9 plus 9 is 18. And we have that's 6 plus 6, that's 12. So 128.7, that's minus. So we're going to add it with 23.2 because it's still minus. the negative sign, 0.2. This is 3. Okay, let me fix that. So there you go. So sum it up. So we have 1, 5, because I wrote 5 because I know there's a what do you call that? There's a carry over here, 0.9, and don't forget the minus sign over here. So what we have is negative 1, 5, 1, point 9. Okay, and this is a 6, by the way. Okay, so let's have it for number 5, the last for addition. So 132 minus 276, we have 276 is a bigger number, negative 276. So we're going to subtract since they have different signs. So 132, and then we're going to copy the sign of the big number, which is 276. That is negative 276, 132. Did I write it correctly? Yes. So we have a 4, we have a 4, and we have a 1. This is negative. So since this is negative, we are going to add it with negative 380 because they're both of the same signs. Okay, so what we have is, let's just not put it there because it will not fit. So we have negative 5, 2, 4. Okay, so that's it. Hopefully you got all answers in the finding the sum correct. Okay, so let's go to finding the difference. Finding the difference, we have 3 terms. So let's do the KFC in each one of them, if it needs to be. So 143 minus 31, they're both positive, so we don't need to do the KFC. 143 minus 31, that's 112. 112 minus 31, I think we need to write that down. 112 minus 31. Actually, we don't need to write that down. Yeah. So what we have is 81. Okay. We have 36 minus 10, that's 26, minus 20, that's simply 6. We have minus 10, minus minus 12. So this is where we will keep flip and change. So negative 10, flip, plus, change, plus. So negative 10 plus 12, that's going to give us positive 2. Again, negative 10 plus positive 12, that's going to give us positive 2. Positive 2 minus 10 is going to give us minus 8, or negative 8 if you want. Okay, so number 4, 36.5 minus 36.5, this is going to become 0 because they're equal. Minus positive 1, this is going to give us minus 1. Okay, because 0, keep flip change. So 0 minus 1, flip this, changes the negative, so negative 1. 81.2 minus minus 51.6, so keep flip and change. Keep flip, this becomes positive. Sorry. This also becomes positive. So we add them in essence. So we have 8, we have 13 to 8. So let's write it down. 13. What number is that? Sorry. 13 to 0.8. 32.8 minus positive 71. So this is clearly we're going to subtract. So minus 71.5. So we have 13 minus 7 is going to give us 6. 2 minus 1 is going to give us 1. 8 minus 5 is going to give us 3. This is 61.3. Okay, so that's for the difference. How about let's go to the product. So 82 times 4. Recall the rules in products. If you're multiplying same signs, it's always going to be positive. If you're multiplying different signs, it's always going to be negative. So what's the answer for number 1? Okay, the answer is 0. But the 0 property of multiplication, any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So we have a factor which is 0 here. So the answer is 0. For number 2, so we have minus 2 times minus 18. 2 twice 18 is 36, and it's going to become positive because we have negative and negative. So that's 36. But before we even go and move forward, we have another factor. Our last factor here is minus 1. So this is positive 36, but multiplied by minus 1, it's going to become minus 36 or negative 36. Okay, for number 3 this time. Negative 4 times negative 12. So they're both of the same sign, so it's going to become positive. So 12 times 4 is going to become what? Okay, 48. 48 times 2. What's 48 times 2? Okay, so 48 times 2, this is positive times positive, that's going to become 96, positive 96. Okay, okay, so number 4, 16 times 3. So we have negative 16 times 3. So let's do it here. 16 times 3 times 3. So we have 3. 3 times 1 is 3, right? 3 times 6 is 18. So we have 48 as the answer. Okay, my 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 graphics tablet is quite laggy now. 48, 48 times 6. And take note, again, this is negative. This is negative because they're unlike signs, so it should be negative. Now we're going to multiply it by another negative 6. So which tells us that our answer is positive because they're both of the same signs. So 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 8, or rather 8 times 4 rather. 8 times 4 is 48. Put the 4 here as a carry. Sorry. Uh, 48. Okay, so what we have here lastly is 288. So I think you can see that clearly now.
It's 11 o'clock.
288. Okay, so for number 5, okay, so we have 14 times 3. So they're both negative. Okay, so it's going to become positive. 14 times 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. That's going to become 42. Okay, positive 42. Positive 42 times 10, so that's 420. Let me write it down here because it cannot fit. Okay. So 420. Okay, so that's the product. Let's finish this with our quotient already. Okay, so 12, this is a multiplication, okay, not a 12.10. It's 12 times 10, that's 120 divided by negative 10. So like the same laws with product the operation of multiplication, the division operation also follows the same rule, same signs, positive, unlike signs, negative. So since they're unlike signs, and 120 divided by 10 is 12, so the answer is negative 12. Okay, for number 2, we have 366 divided by 61. What number could that be? So this number is quite challenging. So we have no choice, but we try to do it by trial and error. So let's try, for example, 61. 61 times 10 is 610. That's times 10. 610 divided by 2 is 305, and that's divided by 5. And 305 is greater than is yeah, I mean 305 is lesser than um 61, so it should be between 5 and 10. So let's try to have the start. Let's start with 6. 61 times 6. Sorry. Okay, so we have 36 and 6, and this is, yeah, that's correct. This is the answer. So 36, 366. Okay, so what we do, the answer is this one. This is the factor that we're looking for. That's gonna be the quotient. So since they have different signs, the answer will be negative 6. Negative 6. Okay, for number 3, so we have 340 divided by 3.4, or negative 3.4. Notice that they are quite the same in the picture, but it had this 340 is 340. This is 3.4. So what we do is just multiply. Actually, we're just going to divide, rather, imagine multiplying 3.4 by 100, because it will present to you 340. So we multiplied 100, 3.4 by 100, specifically negative 100, to make it 340 here. So this becomes negative 100. Okay, last two items. Sorry, it's quite laggy in my laptop now using this graphics tablet. Negative 1.4 divided by negative 1.4, it's trivial. That's 1, correct? And 36 divided by negative 6, we know 6 times 6 is 36, but this is negative 6, so the answer is negative 6. Okay, so that's it for all your exercises. I hope you had no difficulty in answering this. Again, like I always say, just practice and practice and practice. Math is really, you cannot learn mathematics overnight, so you need to practice. Um, it's a skill, it needs to be practiced. It's not it's not magic, also, that you will just learn it in one snap. Okay, so just continue practicing. There's a lot of worksheets online. There's a lot of ways to practice mathematics. Just find ways to practice it. Okay, and yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you learned something, and yeah, I'll be making more soon. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, see you. Thanks for watching.